I want to end today's episode talking about my final segment is going to talk about something that probably most of you aren't aware of. We are less than a month away from a government shutdown. Um, it sounds scary, government shutdown. Like we've heard it at various points before, especially like and I think most Americans now probably really got acquainted uh, with this phrase, government shutdown, during the Obama presidency, even though, potential shutdowns had kind of been the case before, but they really hadn't become um, something that the average everyday American kind of got used to hearing, right? But we essentially need um, to have the government allocate funds and basically fund the government on December 11th or before December 11th, which is less than a month away. Today is the 13th. We had kind of this happen not too long ago, another potential government shutdown. You might have heard about it very briefly. What was it, like maybe 2 months ago, something of the sort, 2-3 months ago. And a lot of people, and I'm talking about it happened during, since COVID. But when it happened, a lot of people had considered if Nancy Pelosi should not agree to fund the government without stimulus being passed. And originally, she kind of was like, no, we're not going to agree to. And then she was like, you know what? I'm going to do the air quote thing here, responsible thing, and fund the government without stimulus, right? I have 5 words for Nancy Pelosi or anyone who knows her. Do not do that again. All right? Nancy Pelosi needs to not fund the government without the passage of stimulus. Period. Point blank. If you fund the government yet again without stimulus, we're going to end right back in the same situation, especially because, and this is true, Nancy Pelosi has lost some leverage that she had related to stimulus talks that she had before the election. Now that leverage, she still has leverage in the game, but not as much as she had before. This will give you leverage, Nancy. Demand. You want government funding? You want our government not to shut down? You need to stimulate the economy. Make the other side defend their desire to not stimulate the economy and fund the government. Make them defend it. Because quite frankly, if we don't have a stimulus, the government needs to shut down because it's not helping the people anyway. What the heck do you need to stay open for? Close. A business that isn't serving its customers, close the dang doors. I think she needs to stand her ground. Republicans they're fond of that, right? Stand your ground. Stand your ground, Nancy. Do not fund the government without a stimulus. This is the only thing that you can do. Like, we need money and we need it now. Now, maybe that means you have to be flexible on that $2.2 trillion. Before, I probably would have said, stay at the $2.2 trillion. And you heard me say earlier in the show, they need more than $2.2 trillion, given the damage that has been done since the last few weeks. But get us something to hold us over until we get President Joe Biden. One thing you can do, And I think maybe don't focus on new stuff that needs to happen, but stuff that's set to phase out, stuff that has already phased out. At the very least, maybe for instance with unemployment, maybe you can't get those extended benefits, that extra money. But you know what? Maybe what you can do, how the PUA program is set to run out the end of December, maybe you can negotiate for that to be in place until maybe March. Don't even focus on any extra money. Just go with some very simple and basic stuff that you know you can get past, and couple it with the funding of the government. You want the government funded? I need PUA extended to March, the end of March. We're not going to even talk about any extra money. I just need that program extended until after March. You want extra money? I need unemployment. I need those extra weeks. Instead of 39 weeks, we need to take it up to 49 or 59. To buy you time to get into Q1, Q2 of 2021. Because we know help isn't going to come for the American people under the Joe Biden administration at the very earliest until Q2. You need to get us something to hold us over until Q2. Eviction moratoriums, extend those. The tax hikes that are supposed to come into effect in January, that the president set to come into effect in January, those need to go. You don't need to have some big long list. I understand you're not going to be able to do everything for everybody. But the bare minimum that you can get through, seek to do the least amount of damage. Damage is going to be done. We can't stop it. We've gone too far. The house is burned too much. There's going to be smoke damage and fire damage and all. We're going to have it. But can we at least save the structure for when we actually start to rebuild? We can. But Nancy has to have the balls to do it. And the balls come from saying no funding the government without the bare minimum forms of stimulus that I need. And hopefully you guys, my listeners, push for that as well. Hopefully pundits, well, they're not going to demand that, but hopefully, again, supporters of Nancy will say, Nancy, stand your ground. Now she might, especially, since there was kind of conversation about, oh, do we need to remove Nancy from her post? And she might kind of feel willing to maybe capitulate. Maybe if she notices her lack of leverage in this situation compared to before and people's kind of unhappiness with her leadership. I've already addressed that. She's the person to lead the Democrats at this point right now. Absolutely. As much as I really don't care for her, it's the truth. But she needs to have the balls. Nancy, have the balls. Do not fund the government until we get some minimum forms of stimulus. I'll leave you to determine what that is, but get together with your caucus and decide what are the top 5 things that we need. Okay, stay away from we need extra money from unemployment. We need, contact tracing. Okay, can you just get tracing right now? Can you at least get money to help with tracing? Can you at least get some more money for a vaccine? And don't try to do it all right now. Even though I agree that we need it all right now, we just need the bare minimum to hold us over to Q2. Can you do it? Will you do it? You need to do it.